Good morning, my Real News Media TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning for January 6, 2024, Greenville resident succumbs 2 days after drive-by shooting. A man succumbed to gunshot wounds at hospital on Friday afternoon, 2 days after he was injured in a drive-by shooting in the troubled community of Greenville on the outskirts of Mandeville in Manchester. Police sources named the deceased as Richard Levy, otherwise called Weedy, said to have been in his late 50s. The victim was a resident of 14th Street in Greenville. Reports are that about 7 p.m., the victim was sitting on a wall at the entrance of Greenville across from a gas station when gunmen traveling in a motorcar opened fire on him. He was hit multiple times and taken to the hospital, where he was admitted in critical condition. He later died. There was a strong security presence in the community on Wednesday night following the incident. Greenville, located just a mile west of the Mandeville town center, has been affected by crimes, including murders over the years, resulting in curfews and lockdowns on entertainment events in the community. Cocaine seized in raid triggers concern of violence. The seizure of 13 pounds of cocaine in a major bust at a house operated as a drug base in the St. Elizabeth community north of Junction has sparked concerns that the parish could experience an increase in violent crime. The cocaine, worth an estimated $28 million, as well as 222 pounds of ganja, valued at $2.2 million, more than $1 million in cash, and a car were confiscated by narcotics police at the house on Thursday night. The news was told that a man ran from the house and escaped. According to one law enforcer, the presence of the cocaine is worrying as it spells trouble. St. Elizabeth has had a number of drug seizures, largely marijuana, because there are a lot of ganja fields in the parish. Last year, thousands of pounds of ganja were destroyed, the source said. In terms of cocaine, since the middle of last year, there hasn't been any seizure of cocaine. Anywhere cocaine is, there are always guns and gangs. Now, to have this white powder in the parish, it spells trouble, the source said, adding that cocaine compounds the already deadly presence of gangs and ganja in St. Elizabeth. This is of concern to us as law enforcement officers. Cocaine in the parish could lead to other violent crimes. Whatever the quantity is, it has serious implications, the source said. The narcotics police have named Citron Smith, a resident of Warminster District, as a person of interest in relation to the drug seizure. They have asked him to report to the Narcotics Area 3 office on the Carteret Road in Mandeville by 10 a.m. Saturday. Police constable who pepper sprayed the retired senior cop acquitted. Gaynor Harrison, the police constable who pepper sprayed a retired senior policeman during a traffic stop on Malines Road in St. Andrew in 2019, has been acquitted. The retired cop Altamorth Parrow Campbell was pepper sprayed after he disobeyed the constable's directive to exit his vehicle to be arrested. His son, who was in the passenger seat, was also pepper sprayed. The exchange between former Deputy Superintendent of Police Campbell and the constable was captured in an amateur cell phone video. Constable Harrison, who has been on suspension since the incident, was freed Friday afternoon following submissions by his attorney, Vincent Wellesley. The cop was charged with 2 counts of assault occasioning actual bodily harm following a recommendation by the Independent Commission of Investigations on May 14, 2020. But during the part-heard trial in the Kingston and the St. Andrew Parish Court, Mr. Wellesley submitted that his client acted in self-defense and also in accordance with the Jamaica Constabulary Force Act. Mr. Wellesley argued that his client did not commit an offense based on the circumstances, explaining that the cop was attempting to arrest a motorist who committed several breaches of the Road Traffic Act. Presiding Judge Natalie Ebanks Miller, prior to handing down her ruling, pointed out that the Crown failed to establish that the cop intentionally or recklessly assaulted both complainants. The judge said the incident occurred in the execution of the policeman's duties. Opposition wants a central bank to intervene in ATM availability issue. The parliamentary opposition has called for the Bank of Jamaica to intervene in the growing crisis facing customers seeking to withdraw or deposit cash at automated teller machines across the island. There are growing calls for banks to provide more ATMs across Jamaica as the customers are faced with undesirable circumstances at the machines. Customers have been complaining of long lines and the lack of cash at the machines. Speaking with the news on Friday afternoon, opposition spokesman on finance Julian Robinson dismissed the claims by the Jamaica Bankers Association that increased vandalism and attacks on courier vehicles have contributed to the crisis. According to Mr. Robinson, local banks are failing to fulfill their obligations to their customers as required by law.
There are some basic minimum service standards that every single financial institution should abide by. If you have ATMs, they should be operational, let's say, for example, 75% of the time, which means that if you go in there to do transactions, like withdrawing cash, they should have cash. The problem we have now is that the banks are forcing people out of the branches, telling them to use online means and digital means. But when you go to the ATMs, the majority of the ATMs don't work. They don't have enough cash. So what are people to do when you must need cash for specific transactions? Yes, there are people who are going to use online banking, but for the elderly, for example, they're not going to use online banking. So what exists right now, while I acknowledge the issue of crime, theft, vandalism, what exists right now is unacceptable. Because this is not a new problem. It's not, it has been hiding over Christmas, but this has been going on for months. While the urban areas can complain that you may have to go from one place to another, I'm hearing some parishes only have one. So Trelawney don't have none. So the BOJ, as the regulator, has to step in here. If you're pushing people out of the branches because you want to reduce your costs, you must ensure that the other channels are available. And an ATM is an absolute necessity.
NHD reminds the contributors that refunds are processed in 15 working days. The National Housing Trust started accepting applications for refund of contributions made in 2016 on January 1, 2024. Qualified contributors are being reminded that they may apply for refunds at any time during the year for contributions made in 2016 or earlier. Additionally, the NHD will extend the cash refund granted to eligible public sector workers for the upcoming year 2024. NHD also reminded existing mortgagors who received their loan directly from them that they will receive their contributions refunded as a credit to their mortgage account. NHD said too that refund applications must be submitted exclusively online through the official NHD channels. These are the NHD website, www.nhd.gov.jm, the NHD mobile app available for download in the Google Play Store or App Store, and the NHD online portal online.nhd.gov.jm. To ensure a smooth and prompt application process, NHD advised the contributors of the following: exercise caution when applying online and ensure the use of secure, official NHD platforms only. Avoid third-party websites or unofficial channels. To prevent delays, applicants should carefully input accurate information during the application process. Double-check details such as name, banking information, and contribution history. Applicants must have their national identification scheme and the taxpayer registration number cards readily available during the application process. Customers are being reminded that the service standard for the processing of a contribution refund is 15 working days where the application was submitted correctly, NHD said in a release. The Trust is also advising Jamaicans to beware of fictitious communication. At the start of a new refund period, there is often an increase in fictitious communication purporting to be from the NHD. These are not affiliated with the Trust and are fake, NHD said. It went on to advise contributors to ignore unsolicited emails. The NHD only sends a communication regarding successful refunds or request for customer contact if there is a problem with the application submitted. Ignore unsolicited emails claiming to be from the NHD. Verify email addresses. Official NHD communication will only come from verified NHD email addresses. Verify the sender's email address before responding. Avoid clicking suspicious links. Do not click on any links in emails that seem suspicious or ask for personal information. Official communication will guide you to the secure NHD platforms. For assistance or to report suspicious activity, contact the NHD directly through any of our official channels. Do not use the contact information provided in unsolicited communications. By adhering to these guidelines, contributors can safeguard their personal information and enjoy a hassle-free application process, NHT said.